Let me ask you something a little uncomfortable. Have you ever looked at your own life and thought, wow, I don't recognize her anymore? Not in a good way, not in a Pinterest perfect glow up montage, but in a quiet, late at night, staring at the ceiling kind of way. Like, how did I end up here? Maybe you are tired of being the girl who overthinks everything, the girl who stays small, the girl who settles, the girl who says I'm fine when she's clearly not fine. You are tired of being the version of you who knows she's meant for more but still keeps living like less. And the worst part, you see other people changing. New routines, new confidence, new lives, new identities. You are just like there. Okay, but why do I still feel like the same confused version of me from 3 years ago? If you ever feel tired of who you have been, if you feel stuck in an old identity that doesn't fit anymore, if you feel burnt out, unmotivated, or emotionally exhausted, this video is for you. Because today, we are talking about the psychology of reinvention. Not the fake new year, new me kind of energy, but the real, the kind that changes how you see yourself, the kind that starts when you're not inspired anymore, but tired. So let's begin the plot twist of your life. Hello beautiful people, my name is Juhi. Welcome back to my channel. Here's something I want to tell you. Reinvention doesn't start with motivation, it starts with dissatisfaction. You don't wake up one day and think, I want to be a completely different person today. No, you wake up tired, not just physically tired, emotionally tired, identity tired. You are tired of your own excuses, you are tired of your own patterns, you are tired of your own limits. And you start feeling frustrated with yourself, like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep choosing comfort over growth? Why do I keep sabotaging myself? And then burnout hits. Let's talk about burnout. Not the kind of exhaustion that can be remedied with a cup of coffee. I am talking about this deep, soul level exhaustion. The kind where you wake up tired, you go to bed tired, even your dreams feel tired. You are not just drained, you are identity drained. You have been trying to be someone you are not anymore, trying to fit into roles you have outgrown, trying to please people who don't really see you, trying to survive in a version that no longer fits your spirit. And your nervous system is like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. So you feel numb, unmotivated, exhausted, lost. So instead of asking what's wrong with me, you should be asking what part of my life no longer matches who I am becoming. Because burnout is often a misalignment problem, not a laziness problem. You are tired because you have been living in an identity that doesn't fit you anymore, and your soul is ready to resign. But here's the psychology part. Your brain is loyal to who you have been, not who you want to become. Your mind wants familiarity, not greatness. Even if that familiarity is miserable, your brain would rather keep you sad but safe than curious but unstable. So every time you try to change, your brain goes, wait, who do you think you are? You try to wake up early, your brain says, relax, that's not you. You try to chase a bigger life, your brain says, be realistic. Your old identities fight back because your current self is built on old beliefs, old fears, old coping mechanisms, and old survival instincts. They once protected you, but now they are keeping you small. And this is where the tension begins. You are torn between who you have been and who you could become. And most people stop right there, because it feels easier to stay familiar than to face the unknown. But if you're still watching this, something in you is already done being average. And that's powerful. Let me tell you when reinvention actually begins. Not in January, not after a motivational quote, and certainly not after a perfect plan. It begins at a breaking point. It begins when staying the same becomes more painful than changing. It's the day you realize I can't keep living like this. It's the moment your old life stops feeling like home and you feel restless, hungry, unsettled. And here's where the psychology shifts. Your brain has two options: protect your old identity or risk everything for a new one. Because reinvention isn't just becoming someone new, it's letting someone die. Your old self, your old beliefs, your old ways of shrinking, hiding, thinking, and settling. And psychologically, this feels terrifying because your brain equates identity with safety. So when you start changing, your mind goes, wait, if I'm not her, then who am I? And suddenly you are in this weird in-between phase. Not who you were and not yet who you are becoming. You don't relate to your old life, but you haven't built the new one yet. You feel like you're floating, like you don't belong anywhere. And this is where most people run back to their old life because at least she's familiar. But the people who truly reinvent themselves, they sit in that uncomfortable middle. They allow the old identity to collapse so that a new one can be built. And yes, it feels like you're losing parts of yourself. But what you're actually losing is what was never really you to begin with. And right there, this is the peak of your story. This is where your life demands a decision. Stay small or become someone new. So, how do you actually reinvent yourself? Let's break it down. Step 1. Stop chasing goals and start building identity. Most people say, I want a new life, but what you need is a new identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. So if you still see yourself as the insecure one, the lazy one, the unlucky one, the not good enough one, your habits will always reflect that. So instead of saying, what do I want? Ask, who do I need to become? And no, you don't wait until you feel confident. You act confident until your brain rewires itself. Confidence is not a feeling, it's a behavioral pattern. Step 2. Becoming emotionally uncomfortable on purpose. Growth feels like saying no when you want to people please, showing up when you want to hide, trying when you want to quit, and being seen when you want to stay invisible. And your nervous system will panic, your mind will scream, your heart will race, and your old self will beg you to stop. But every time you push through that discomfort, your brain updates a new identity. Oh, we are this kind of women now. The kind who tries, the kind who doesn't run, the kind who evolves. Step 3. Burnout is not your enemy, it's your messenger. Burnout is your body saying, this version of life is not sustainable. Tired because you're weak. You are tired because you're overgiving, overperforming, overthinking, and underbeing. Reinvention starts when you stop asking, how do I push myself harder? And start asking, how do I build a life that does not require me to abandon myself? That's identity evolution. No hustle, no pressure, alignment. Step 4. Rewrite your identity language. Instead of saying, I am not confident, say, I am learning to show up as someone confident. Instead of saying, I always quit, say, I am becoming the person who finishes what she starts. That's not delusion, that's neuroplasticity. Brain rewires based on the language you repeat. So speak to yourself like someone in evolution, not someone in shame. Reinvention is not a one big moment. It's a series of small, brave decisions every day to think differently, to show up differently, to choose differently. The women who change their lives, they don't wait for motivation. They move first and let confidence catch up. Because the future version of you, she's watching. She's watching every excuse, every delay, every time you say, I will start tomorrow. And one day, she's either going to say, thank you so much for not giving up on me, or why didn't you start sooner? And I don't want you to be the girl who looks back and says, I wasted so much time being afraid. I want you to be the girl who says, I reinvented myself even when it was uncomfortable. Because reinvention doesn't start with a miracle. It starts with small, brave actions. Because reinvention doesn't start with a miracle, it starts with a decision. Before you go, if this video made you pause, think, or feel seen in any way, that's not an accident. That's your intuition telling it's time to become her. So don't let this just be a nice video you forget. Turn it into a turning point. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and until next time, bye.